Welcome back to the Six Ring Cage Show. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Jazz Santana. I'm joined here by a few of the familiar faces, and of course, one that you guys have not seen yet, and we're going to talk about that also. We got Paul Austria, Danny Gillette, Bakari Givens, David Eversole, and of course, my man, former wide receiver for the Miami Hurricanes, Mr. Lance Leggett, joining us today on the show. What's going on, Lance? How you doing, my brother? How's it going?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How about y'all? How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm fine.
I'm chilling.
Great.
Thanks for joining us. Obviously, I want to get into that, but real quick, before we do, check out the stuff in the background, right? This is all done by my buddy Alex over at Parks and Rec. This is custom-made drawings and paintings that he does. He's a huge Kings fan, as you can see up there. He also does this hat, which a lot of people have started asking about, which is the Sean Taylor 26 hat as well. Parks and Rec, that's the logo. You'll be able to follow them on Instagram and on Twitter. And if you want these paintings, let me know. I'll get you a really good deal on them as well. This is all custom made, one of a kind right here. So check them out, Parks and Rec. We'll definitely talk about that in a little bit. And, of course, I will send out the link for swag also. Big game tomorrow night, fellas. First game of the week. First game of the season for the Miami Hurricanes against the University of Alabama, Birmingham. We're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk a little bit of season preview and also give some bold predictions. I think each of us has some bold predictions. But first, I want to get started with my buddy Lance over here, who was kind enough to join us on the show today. Talk about
Appreciate you coming.
What's that?
I say we appreciate him coming on.
Yes, sir.
No doubt, no doubt.
Thank you again. First thing I want to get to is, as you can see, it's leggettspeed.com. That's the URL for his speed program, right? Speed Academy. It's called what? Leggett Speed Academy, Lance?
Leggett Speed Academy, man.
Leggett Speed Academy. So talk to us a little bit about that. What inspired you to come up with the Speed Academy, and just give us a little rundown on that.
Honestly, man, this what inspired me. It comes way. It dates way back with my dad always training, and everybody from my hometown, from Bartow, Florida, everybody knows my dad liked to train all the athletes. But what my dad did, he was so gifted. He trained everybody for free, which I think he cheated himself. And I think he did. But I'm talking about. He's great. Like he what he's doing. Everybody, ask anybody in my hometown, they're gonna tell you my dad. Like he's the one who you go to if you want to get fast. But right now, I'm just honestly with Leggett Speed Academy, I'm just giving out the secret of what my dad has been holding in, and I'm just enhancing his. It's my business, but I'm enhancing his last name, his legacy. And man, it's for parents, not only single parents, but families with parents with families, and this is a program that I know I guarantee you it'll help their kids get the results they need in their times and afford it in this sport, because you need to learn how to run correctly, and why not learn from all AC guy who ran track in college, so I know a little bit about running. And hey,
yeah, you know a little bit about speed, right? A little bit.
You got a lot of you guys. Everybody who plays with, they're gonna say that boy can run. So, man, that's the program. I know is guaranteed to work, and I know once they see the results, they're gonna want to do another. But, man,
Well,
I just want to help the I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just thought we had a little lag there, but I want to get into exactly what you told me a little bit off air also, which I think is great, right? Considering the times we're in now and these COVID times, a lot of players, a lot of coaches, a lot of parents really don't want their kids to go too far out of the way to go train because, they're scared of circumstances, right? They want to be able to stay at home, maybe even do the workout at home or, at a local park somewhere. This is where this program really comes into play. Tell them why, Lance.
Man, with this right here, like you say, you already know it's a pandemic and whatever, everything that's going on. Man, your parents can be the one to join it. Once you sit down and you watch this course, the athlete and the parents, they can see what I'm teaching on the videos. and they could see, and they could just go out and admit what I'm teaching, and it's gonna make it easier. But it's also you're in a state environment. You don't got to be around a lot of people right now.
That's awesome.
And still get that.
That's awesome. I know we got a little lag there, but what he's saying also is this is all on video, right? So the kids can actually pop it in, watch it on TV, on their screen, and learn that way also, and kind of practice it as they go, and then go out and take it out to the field. And I know Jock, you're a former college athlete, college football athlete as well, so you know how important it is to get training and to get all this done by some of the fastest guys that that have played, especially South Florida guys that you can relate to also. So I love that about it. I love that it's video. I love that that you don't need that the coach doesn't need to be there. You don't need to go to the actual coach. The coach is actually coming to you in essence, right, online, and you can work on your feet and your mechanics and all calisthenics and all that stuff that it incorporates in speed training. So we're really impressed by that. Let them know one more time what the name of it is, and obviously here's the URL as well, and then we'll get into some Kane stuff. Lance, are you frozen on me? Did you freeze on me, Lance? It looks like you did, right?
Yeah, I think he froze.
Yeah, well, he'll come back on, but it is leggettspeed.com. Yeah, he'll come back. No worries. Let's jump right into Kane stuff. Big game tomorrow again. UAB on I believe on ACC Network at 8 p.m. against University of Alabama Birmingham. I know Paul and I will be at the game. We're also going to do a pregame show, so stay tuned for that because we'll do a pregame show and we'll do a postgame show, and we'll talk about all things Canes before and after. But I kind of want to get into right now, Lance, and there he goes again. All right. I think he's on his phone too, man, so that's a problem. But anyways, let's get into season preview. First of all, let's start off with this game. I think the Canes are favored by what, like 14 points?
Last time I checked,
that's an easy bet, right? That's an easy bet. 14 points. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it was 16 last time I checked.
Okay. Still an easy bet, right?
Yeah.
An easy bet. All right. Jock, tell me, what do you see? What do you see from if you've ever seen Alabama Birmingham, or what? So game one, what do you feel?
So this is going to actually be a great test for Miami's run defense. They do have a bigger running back over there at UAB. I think it's either Brown. Both of them are Brown. So, but they did in their first game of the year. Number 4, Brown had 24 carries, 127 yards, and a touchdown. And then the guy, Jay Brown Jr., had 17 carries, 75 yards for a touchdown. I know he's one of those guys that are bigger back. So without a preseason and without a real spring, it's going to present them an opportunity to see how good they did in their tackling drills. Because last year, Miami did have problems tackling in space a lot. Shaq Quarterman was kind of not that good of a tackler in space. It hurt his giraffe stock as well. So we're going to see the physicality one. If Miami run defense can step up and stop the run. And then obviously I'm excited to see the offense, most no doubt. Like everybody's excited to see De'Aaron King spin.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. Danny Gillette, I know you did a little bit of a little studying on UAB. What do you see in their offense? I know that they have some monster tight ends as well that can play pretty well. I know that kid Garrett Prince, who's their like third string tight end, blew up against Central Arkansas. But what do you see at the Blazers?
I saw a very good running game. I mean, Jock kind of talked about it here, but Spencer Brown, 24 carries, 127 yards, and a touchdown. And Jermaine Brown with, 17 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, sure, Miami's a 14-point favorite, but I do think that the UAB running game is going to provide a good test. Now, in terms of the passing game, one of the things I saw was wide receiver Austin Watkins. He caught 7 passes for 72 yards. So there could be some production from UAB at wide receiver. I don't think it's going to be necessarily overwhelming production, but I do think it's something that the secondary will have to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Look, listen. This is a good test. This is not your typical cupcake Bethune-Cookman team, right? I mean, and I hate to put it that way, but it is what it is. University of Alabama, Birmingham had a winning record last year. They got a great coach over there. Good running backs, as Jock and Danny said. Dave, is there anything else that you kind of want to add to this game, or let's put it this way: what? Obviously, they've got some horses over there at the running back, wideouts and tight ends. What does Miami have to do to not fall into the playing down to your competition issues that they've had in the past?
I think they need to take the opponent seriously. It's the opening game of the season. You want to come out. You want to execute. I know Lance can attest to that. You want to be sharp early, get a rhythm, start to build some confidence early against what you would perceive as an inferior opponent. And you really got to watch the quarterback position for UAB. Tyler Johnston, he can make some big plays, but he's also prone to the turnover. He threw 15 picks last year. So if we can get up the field with Roche from the edge.
And a pick in the opening game.
Right. So he's prone to the mistakes. I think if we can get after it with pressure from the front four and drop 7 guys back there, I think there's going to be plenty of big plays on defense. And we just got to not make mistakes. I think UAB is going to come out early and they're going to be fired up. Big atmosphere for them. I mean, not with the crowd per se, but they're playing, a Power 5 team in Miami. They're going to put their best foot forward, I think, at least early. But I think in that September heat in Miami, we're going to grind, slowly things will kind of grind down, get going, So I think we're going to be all right.
It still might be the biggest crowd that UAB plays in front of anyways, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly. But I think you just got to
be a big game. I think, look, at the end of the day, I think the crowd's going to be hyped up. They want football. They want college football. So the Canes fans are going to be out there. They're going to be ready to go. I'm excited to be there. Thanks to the University of Miami, they've really put together some great procedures and protocols for the media as well, and for the fans. So I'm looking forward to this being a positive experience. Paul, if you want to add anything to UAB before we kind of move forward with the season, and then talk a little bit about some other things.
Oh, I'm kind of looking forward to just how the overall game experience will be for Miami, because 13,000 fans is the max allowed at this game. And, to kind of put that into perspective, imagine going to a Heat game, sold out Heat game, it's 2/3 of that. That's a huge difference compared to, and imagine that in a football stadium, in a stadium that holds 70,000 fans.
Yeah.
I think I don't know why, but I'm always comparing it to what people saw in 2017 for the Notre Dame game, where how loud it got and how much of a contrast it will be from that. And you got to imagine UAB is definitely fired up about this game. Whenever kind of like a mid-level D1 program gets a chance at playing, at least what like a Power 5 program, they're going to give it their all. I think and this, I think when you guys mentioned it, the ultimate test will be for Miami, and will they go in knowing that they may not be as talented as us, but are they going to take it for granted? To me, you would hope that they just go out, give it their all, and go out and dominate, because you don't want them to take their chances. Kind of giving like maybe 75% effort. To me, like if you know you're better, you should go out and prove that you're better. And I'm just excited because I think people also thought like, well, is UAB at a disadvantage because they have no game tape of Miami? And it's kind of crazy to think about, because this is going to be a whole 180 from last year's offense, even from the offense from the previous regime. This is just going to open up a lot of things, and we just got to hope that the offense lives up to the hype, lives up to his billing. And I'm really excited to just see what Rhett Lashley has in store for us come Thursday when we're over there.
Good stuff. Well, listen, we all expect Miami to, hey, maybe it could happen that they start off a little slow to kind of get the legs under them. UAB's already got one game under the belt. But I can all safely say that, Miami's going to pull it out and kind of blow them away, blow them out in some form or fashion, whether it's running away with it late in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter. Honestly, if they're running away with it late in the fourth quarter, then, they've got to do some soul searching again. Either way, it's still an inferior team, right? So we should be able to go out there and dominate UAB. I'm going to say they put up at least a 40 burger on UAB. Anything below 40 points, it's going to be a little disappointing for me. You know, I think De'Aaron King is just gonna go crazy, and I have a feeling we're going to see some of the other guys like Kofi Perry and Tyler Van Dyke and some of the backups as well, which obviously we'll get into also with based off of what we heard yesterday from Coach Manny Diaz and Rhett Lashley and a couple of the players as well. I kind of want to move forward. All right, so the second game of the season is against Louisville, right? Louisville, Saturday the 19th. A good test, right? Great running back. Tutu Atwell is back for Louisville as well. Those guys are going to play. What's the running back's name? Hawkins, I think, is Javion Hawkins or something like that. The kid can play.
Yeah, so we was looking forward to Louisville. They do have a good running back. The kid Hawkins can play. What do you guys kind of see? And their coach is going into their second year. I forgot what's the guy named the coach from Louisville. I think he's going into his second year.
Scott Saddle. What is it?
Satterfield, I think.
Scott Satterfield.
I think I don't know where he came from, but he's going into year 2 of his regime. So you'll probably see a better Louisville product on the field. They always have had talent.
Right.
They recruit the Florida area very well. So Louisville has always been going to be a good test for Miami just because they kind of can match up with the athletes. I don't see Louisville beating Miami. I really don't see Miami having a true test until they get down to Clemson. I don't know what week that is. I'll have to look. Let me go ahead and pull
up. Week 4. So, yeah, they play. It's UAB, Louisville. Then they go. Then Florida State comes to the Rock to play.
Yeah. So
and then we go away to Clemson on week 4. So
I don't really see them having a test till week 4. Florida State, I mean, their team has kind of been dysfunctional over the whole pandemic. So I don't really see those guys as a test, and they're going to be on the road. Blackman's the quarterback. He's kind of shaky back there, and I think Miami has 2 games to get ready to beat those teams. Obviously, the biggest thing for Miami this year is the coaching aspect of Manny Diaz, because game 1, we're going to see how he improved as a coach, because last year we did see them come out unprepared against teams they should have beat the brakes off. Central Michigan came out unprepared. The offense was a problem, but still, that's coaching. FIU came out unprepared, had to try to fight back later.
Even Virginia Tech. Based off of the second half, we should have rolled them, right? And
yes.
We got sloppy with them also.
So I want to see from game 1, okay, hey, if these guys come out like Dave was saying and roll them, and okay, Manny Diaz has improved. Okay, can we carry that over to week 2? Because last year Miami was inconsistent. Florida, they played. You thought that was a team that could have been very good. They played against Florida. Offensive line was a problem. Now we want to see how they progress to week 2, week 3. Let's just see how it rolls. But I don't see, like I said, I don't see Miami having a real test till they play Clemson. And they should use these first 3 games against some formidable opponents to work out the kinks, because that game down, I think they playing at Clemson is going to be a big game for them.
Hey, listen, Jock, you mentioned this. Experience, right? A year more. Nobody under a redshirt sophomore is in the starting lineup right now for the Miami Hurricanes, which I think is a big deal. It's a big deal. Experience plays a big role in college football. Dave, do you think that any of these teams, before we get to Clemson, whether it's Louisville, FSU, even UAB, gives us a problem before we get to that Clemson game?
Pittsburgh always plays us tough for whatever reason, no matter what the records are. It always seems like there's those 1 or 2 games for Miami late in the year or middle third of the season that always trips them up and takes them off course. So you got to watch those proverbial trap games. You got to watch the Florida State game.
Yeah.
You can't overlook an in-state, your baby brother, just because you're playing Clemson 2 weeks after. They have athletes out there. It's still Florida State. It's still a team that if you don't play close to your best game, they will beat you. No matter what's going on, they're going to come out and they're going to want to kick Miami's ass. So you can't sleep on Florida State circling the calendar for Clemson. I think the timing of that game shouldn't be overlooked.
I agree with you 100%. But the reason why I don't see Florida State being good is not because of the players. I just think it's too much turmoil between the coaches and the players. And before Mike Narval even coached one game, he had kids talking about we're not going to play for this coach because he's out there saying this and this, or he's making up stories that he had a meeting with the team versus this. So I think that's kind of creating a rift. Hey, they might have got over it, but that's the only reason why I don't see Florida State as a threat, because I don't think they're going to play hard for Mike Norvell.
Yeah, and I think Dave was talking about that. It's not about talent over at FSU, because I think they still have talented players. Blackman, he is undersized and skinny, and
he got a cannon.
He does have a strong arm. I mean, his numbers aren't as bad as we think they are over at FSU. I mean, he had some issues here and there. Lost his starting position to Alex Hornibrook last year, but apparently, from what they're saying, he's gotten some. He's gotten stronger, and he's playing a lot better now in camp. So definitely not somebody I want to overlook. I definitely want to move forward to. We got past Louisville and Florida State. See, I feel like we are going to be 3-0 going into Clemson, and Clemson's going to be a big game. I don't think we're going to be, if we come out and we dominate all these 3 games, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Can I see us winning the game? It's going to be tough, man. I don't know if I'm ready to say that we're going to beat Clemson, but I'll get to you, Jock. But I want to start with Paul and
go ahead.
Talk about Clemson a little bit and what you see on how we can get through Clemson and beat them.
Oh, well, Clemson is.
We'll come back to you.
That will be a David Goliath matchup. I just think that Clemson has maintained a high level of play for the past 5-6 years. They've kind of separated themselves from the rest of the ACC. There's no one really in their vicinity, and plus, you got to consider the games in Death Valley. That's going to be tough. And on top of that, Clemson's always known for having a nasty D-line. I mean, I know Xavier Thomas might not play this season, but even past that.
I read that their D-line might be better this year than it had, and it may be better than it was when they had Kristen Wilkins, Clint.
That would be scary.
Yeah, that's scary.
And those are all first-round guys too. Those are all first-round guys. And are we able to sit here and say that we are comfortable with Miami's current position at offensive line? We can't. I can't give you that. I can't give you that certainty. So that's the one thing that scares me. Miami does have the athletes to come to compete with Clemson. I know Clemson's always recruiting at a high level too, so they probably have more talented guys. Honestly, I would just do. I would kind of use it as like a barometer. I expect them to kind of go all out. It is a conference game, and they don't play Clemson that often, but I do think maybe this probably will. I want to say they'll be within 14 points. I want to guess.
I can see that. We'll see. Like you said, I think it's going to be a barometer. Danny Gillette, who's not down here, but maybe has his take on Clemson and the Canes.
Well, they still have Travis Etienne, meaning Clemson, and I think that will definitely test the Miami run defense. We talk about, the good running backs that UAB has, and if we can't stop them, who's to say that we can stop Travis Etienne? So I think, with Etienne and Lawrence, Clemson is still very much a viable threat. I think we may be able to keep the game close, but I definitely think it's going to be, a good test to see, okay, this is where Miami has to improve, and this is where Miami has to get better. And these are the things that they did well. So I think it's going to be a good test all around to see exactly where they stand heading into the rest of the season.
The trap game, David.
Right.
Trap game is Pittsburgh, and then after that, even Virginia and NC State. I mean, listen, it's not an easy schedule by any means. The ACC is a tough conference, and I feel like going down the board, Pittsburgh, Virginia, NC State, Virginia Tech, and then Georgia Tech. It's not the option anymore. But they're putting together.
They beat us last year though.
And yeah, I mean, listen, it's not an easy schedule, but aside from Pitt, I know David, you already mentioned that Pitt could be definitely a trap game. Do you see any of these other games, any of these other teams kind of keeping it close with Miami? Like all things considered, right? If we're nasty, we're kicking everybody's ass. Do you see any of these teams staying with us?
if that's a big if we're there, because there's a lot of parity in the middle of the ACC in both sides, divisions, and I don't think you can't call it a trap game because Miami's not an elite team yet. They have a lot of potential, but a trap game is when you're talking about, are you going to roll in there to NC State, 6-7-0, 7-1? You know what I mean? You haven't dropped if they haven't dropped one of those early coulda, shoulda, woulda games like what seems to always happen, like we talked about. Then yeah, if we're rolling, I think we can beat anybody on the schedule aside from Clemson. I just don't think we really match up well with Clemson versus in the interior of the lines. I think we'd hang with them on the outside, and we could probably get some pressure on Lawrence. But I just don't think we have the horses to run with them for 4 quarters. I think it'll be a competitive game, especially if Miami's sitting in, undefeated at that juncture. But I think if we drop 1 or 2 early games and late in the season, we could see a little bit of a downhill trend. But I'm excited because I think the team has a lot more leadership now with De'Aaron King kind of taking the reins at the quarterback position. There's no, from week to week uncertainty. I think we're going to have a lot more balance on offense with the Lashley offense. I think we're going to be able to lean on our running game a little bit more and not have to have N'Kosi Perry throwing the ball 60 times. So I think we're set up a lot better for long-term success. We're not going to be so reliant on the defense holding the other team down. The offense is going to carry their weight this year. We've spoke about that quite a bit. I just think if we have a balanced team and week to week we see improvement from the offensive line, I think late in the season we're really going to start to be on the radar nationally.
Absolutely. Listen, I know we can go through all these teams here, and I think UNC, all things considered, if Miami is 8-1, 9-1, and facing UNC, I definitely could see it being the deciding factor for us playing, which would probably be
the SEC championship
game. Before we finish off on the season preview, I want to get your takes on what you guys think our record is going to be. So give me a nice season record prediction, starting with we'll start with Paul. Paul, what's your season prediction? And I'm going to get to Jock's tweet. That tweet. I don't think I forgot about that tweet, Jock, right? This is kind of crazy. You threw me a curveball there, but all right, Paul, go ahead.
The thing is, like you guys mentioned, we talked about the trap games a little bit, a few minutes ago. I legit think that every game after Clemson is a trap game, in my opinion. Like to me, every year there's going to be those 1 or 2 teams that Miami definitely takes too lightly. We've all seen it many times, and they end up losing a game which they should have won. So I think that they do drop one after Clemson just because it's Miami. I'm going to say 9. It's 11 games, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I'm going to say 9-2.
Okay. Danny Gillette, what do you think?
I'm going to go 9-2 with losses to Clemson and North Carolina.
Dave.
I think I'm gonna go 8-3. 8-3. I think we might have an early season slip up and then maybe one towards the tail of the season and then Clemson. Right. All those teams are so close together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parity, and it could be any one of those games. It could be Pitt. It could be Virginia Tech. You just don't know. They're pretty evenly matched, all those teams. But I think 8-3.
Jock, what do you think?
I'm gonna throw the curveball. I think Miami goes 10-1.
Ooh, okay. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm gonna go Homer style
because
all
the things that you guys are bringing up is one thing that you got. It's 2 things that you guys got affected. This is Miami's best quarterback they done had in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
1, so he can carry you, and another, you have to factor in. We don't have to use him 40, 50 times throwing the ball. We can take control of the game, running the football with his legs, all for RPO. So that's why I think Miami will be better prepared to win those late games. Because when you get late in the season, everybody know your tendencies. We can throw that wrinkle in the run game with De'Aaron King, Harris, and Knight, and Chaney, and you can start getting creative. And another thing is it's no pressure on Miami because you're not playing in front of 50,000 fans. It's quiet. It's no pressure on these kids. They can just go out there and perform. like I said, and factor in, it goes back to Manny Diaz. If Manny Diaz has improved as a coach, Miami is a 10-1 team because I do think Clemson is still the best team in the country. But I think they can beat Clemson because Clemson has a. They start off slow too. If you think about last year, I think they played UNC like the third game of the year. UNC took them to the brink. It was 21-20. They lost at the end because they went for the 2-point conversion. So I'm just saying Miami will be able to compete with Clemson early in the season.
Listen, before we end there, going back to what you said, John, about the Eric King. Listen, I mean, in this final scrimmage, he went 24 of 34 for 330 yards and 6 touchdown passes. And I know, we ran it out there in shells and whatnot. Still impressive. But he also ran for 94 yards, right? So, like you said, his legs are going to be a big factor in the game, which is something we haven't had in this program. I mean, we haven't had a legitimate spread offense in this program ever. So this is the first time we're going to see something like that with Miami's athletes. Could be scary. Could be scary, scary good. So that's why I'm going to go homer status. I'm going to go 10-1 also. And obviously we'll give some bold predictions. I don't know if this is Jock's bold prediction, but my guy over here was talking about winning national championships on Twitter earlier today. So I don't know, what is it? Here it is. Jock takes, if Miami wins a national championship, would it be discredited with the state of college football with not all conferences playing? Woo! Talking about a national championship now, all right? Is that your bold prediction? Are we going to go with that?
I think Miami can reach the national title. Just because it is. If Miami, okay, let's say for the sake of the argument, they beat Clemson. All right. Miami's gonna roll the season, so they'll be undefeated. And it's just they have this ceiling because think about who's not playing. You don't have Ohio State, you have to beat. You don't have Oregon, who was gonna be a top 5 team, you have to beat. You don't have USC. You don't have the Wisconsins of the world. So it's just you can just go through the only teams that you'll be playing again, Clemson. You have to play Clemson twice, obviously.
You got to beat them twice, too.
Beat them twice.
Yeah.
Now, if they can I'm just saying at this point, once Miami gets to that point, and you have LSU, Alabama, whoever may be in the championship game, Alabama struggles against running quarterbacks. So that's the thing you have to factor in. So I think they can win a national title? Yes, because they have the best quarterback they've had in the past 10. They have a top 5 player in the country at quarterback at this moment.
That's a bold prediction, man. That's a bold prediction.
My bold prediction is Miami gets to the college football playoff.
Boom! There it is.
Whoa!
I wasn't going to go that far with
Hello.
I might have to change mine now. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dave over there Dave oh no.
Dave's eyes lit up. He went, huh?
Hey, we covered all here. We got 9-2, 8-3.
I know, right?
10-1.
Just 11-0.
And the playoff.
They're going to
11-0. And I think Derek King is in the Heisman Trophy race at the end of the season.
Bold prediction, Dave. What's your bold prediction?
Bold prediction. I think Miami is a top 5 overall defense in the country.
Okay. He went the easy way out, man.
I was like, wait.
He took the easy way out.
Top 5 in the country?
Yeah. That's
playing.
No, but listen. Miami's gonna have probably one of the best D lines in the country. I think that's kind of easy.
Quincy Roche, preseason All-American. That's big.
Yeah. So okay, Dave got to give Dave. You got to give us another prediction.
Another prediction.
If Rousseau was there, we'd have 2 preseason All-Americans. Come on.
Another prediction.
Chaney or Knighton is ACC Rookie of the Year.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Danny Gillette, what do you got? What's your bold prediction?
Knighton is a Doak Walker Award candidate at the end of the year.
Wow. You took a Doak Walker.
That's cool, baby. I like it.
That takes the cake for boldness, I think.
Carl, what do you got? What do you got? What's your bold prediction?
Okay, so I do think that they will play in a BCS Bowl. I'm not confident enough to say that they will be in the playoff. I feel like they're probably a couple of years they need to build the roster depth. Although that is it is the best case scenario because I've always thought this team is capable of that. If everything goes right, if defense plays up to their potential, so there's offense and everything goes right, they definitely can. I don't doubt that. They're gonna be in a BCS bowl. For me, I'm gonna go light. I'm not as bold as you guys. I'm a very play safe guy.
No.
Okay, so Brevin Jordan.
That's my role. That's my job.
Brevin Jordan.
I'm the
will
voice of
definitely have a
reason
great
on
year.
5 reasons.
Right.
I'm the 6th reason.
He's a 6th reason.
So
you gotta
okay,
keep your Twitter handle, man.
That's good shit right there.
That is.
So
I
Go
say
ahead, Paul.
that Jalen Phillips will have at least 10 sacks this year, and on top of that, Brevin Jordan will lead the team in receiving yards, but Will Mallory will have more touchdowns than him.
Okay.
Just 'cause
hold
everyone-
on. I like that, but do we really want Brevin Jordan leading the team in receiving yards with all the athletes we have on the outside?
That's why it's a
Well, he's going to
bold-
win the Heisman. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I think if he stays
Okay.
healthy,
All right.
if Jordan stays healthy, I feel like the field will definitely open up more. And if he's kind of playing more like in the slot, things will definitely open up because defenses are probably going to be worried more about the speedier guys like your Mike Harleys, your Mark Popes.
Right.
We still got Mallory, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they'll look more towards Mallory in the red zone, kind of more of like a TD threat. Although I wouldn't doubt him going off this year either.
The seams.
But
Okay. All
but I
right.
feel like Brevin has I wouldn't put it as if Brevin has a lot to prove, but people are
But he does.
wanting to.
No, he actually does because
He
he
does
was
have a
hurt
lot.
last year. And
Yeah.
his freshman, think about it. From his freshman year, we were talking about this guy being a top 10, top 15 pick in the draft. Now
Yeah.
we kind of like, okay, is he even the best tight end in the country? Because you got the kid from Florida, Kyle Pitts, and you got the tight end from Penn State, the Pat. I don't
He's
know.
not playing Freiermuth, but he's not even playing this year. So
Oh, he's not playing. So yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
Tim and
between.
I think
Him and
Jordan
Pitts.
needs to stay healthy. And I think I don't know. I feel like maybe he would want to refine a lot of things to make sure that he does go first round this year or next year. Sorry.
Absolutely.
So I definitely look forward to seeing what Jordan and Mallory have in the bag for us this year.
So I don't know how bold it is, but I want to say Miami makes it to the ACC championship game, okay. And plays in a BCS bowl. But my boldest predictions I think is going to be De'Ara King is going to be a Heisman finalist, so top 4 voter. And here's my boldest one: Jeremiah Payton is my breakout guy. He's going to lead the team in receiving. Jeremiah Payton.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to go too crazy. We got national championships over here.
Yeah.
Listen,
Danny's got something up his sleeve, though.
Yeah, Danny. Wait, Danny, did we get to you?
Doak
No,
Walker,
okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Doak
Okay.
Walker. Nine
He
with
said-
Doak.
Doak Walker. That's right.
the boldest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
More bold than a national championship. Yeah.
So
Rooster's a stud. We can talk
Paul-
about that.
Paul-
What was De'Ara King talking about yesterday in his press conference about the fastest guys that were the fastest guys on the team? And he said, what, Mike Harley and Rooster, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we did.
That's big. That's big. He did talk about that yesterday in the press conference. And I know a lot of the guys were talking about their kicking game. We haven't even mentioned our kicking game, which could win us a couple of games this year.
We're a
That
guy.
would give us 4 games, 4 games.
Paul tweet earlier today was a great point that with the kicking game, when is it like we have a great kicker. The kid he's good. The kid, how you say his last name?
Borregales.
Borregales. He's a great kicker,
Yeah.
and I think him being a experienced kicker can put Miami to win that 10th and 11th game or that 9th or 10th game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because kicking loses you some games, though. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah. I mean, but the guys mentioned again that Borregales has changed this football team, right? They're very confident in him, and they mentioned this in the press conference also.
Special teams is going to be good this year.
Yes.
With Headley and Borregales.
Mm.
Field position is going to be big. And I think the defense, if they can get teams pinned back, they're going to create a lot of turnovers. And that's going to just be the catalyst like it has been for the last few years. The angry defense and the offense just comes out and just just takes the momentum and runs with it.
How many times do we see the turnover chain this year?
Ooh, that
78.
Oh my God.
That means we're averaging about 7 turnovers
a game.
That's 2 a quarter game. We're getting older. We're raising the bar now. We're raising the bar even higher now.
I legit think Miami has a 2017 resurgence on defense where we led the nation in turnovers.
I get 20 plus turnovers. So maybe I'll go 24 turnovers. We'll go two a game, basically. 2 a game.
I think in the first game we get at least 3.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be fun, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna be able to watch this game. Before we close this out, we're gonna do a pregame show tomorrow as well. Okay, me and Paul will do it from the stadium. We'll be at Hard Rock watching the game and giving you guys some live tweets and some live quotes on what's going on around us as well. And then we'll do a post game as well. Anybody's willing to join, you can join at any time. We'll make sure we'll talk to Manny and Alejandro to make sure we set that up for pregame and postgame tomorrow. But I'm excited about it. I can't wait to not wear my Kings gear to go to a game. That's going to be interesting. It's hard for me not to do it, man. But
it's all business. It's all business tomorrow.
It's all business. This is a business trip for us, literally, right? So we're excited about it. We can't wait. We want you guys to chime in, man. Shoot us some tweets and some questions or anything that you guys have on Twitter, on any of our handles. Well, where can they find you guys, Paul?
Paul Austria _ I'm gonna do my best to live tweet during the game, just to give you guys updates, because it's not everyone has the luxury of being there, and I definitely want everyone to kind of feel what it's like to be there.
You're gonna see us in our masks. Me and Paul are gonna be wearing masks tomorrow in a pregame and postgame, so that's gonna be interesting. Danny, where can they find you?
At DGillette95, I will be following the box scores closely because I don't have ACC Network, but I will definitely be checking it out on Thursday for sure.
All right. And Dave,
I'll send you my Hulu login.
All right, son.
Now you'll get it. See, that's what friends are for, man.
Hey, thank you.
It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
David W.
I have YouTube TV if you need it. LMK.
Hulu has live sports.
They better.
Hulu's the greatest.
Anybody on here who has any way that I can watch the Canes game, please send it over.
Look them up, man. Jock, where can they find you? We'll get that. We'll get something for you.
King Jock 24. One thing. What's y'all final predictions for game 1?
Ooh.
Final score?
Final score. My fault. Yeah.
I'm gonna go 49-13. Miami, obviously.
I'll say 34-10. Miami.
Danny.
I'll say 38-13.
All right. Dave, come on.
Come on, Dave.
79-2.
Oh my God. I actually.
Do you know what we're playing?
I got 56-21.
56-21.
No, for real,
Okay,
I got 37-17.
All right, Dave, you gotta stop drinking before the show, man.
No way.
Never.
I might hop on the Heat post game stream too. Just wait.
Oh no.
Oh boy, good luck with that. Anyways, you can find me at Jazz _ Santana. But most importantly, again, it's on the scroll down there. All right, at 5 Reasons Canes. Follow us at 5 Reasons Canes for all the greatest and latest Miami Hurricanes news. Follow all the guys. Everybody here has some great content. Jock is already having us win the national championship, so I like him even more now. All right, big thanks to Lance. I know we had some issues with Lance Leggett with his connection, but Lance has a great speed academy called LeggettSpeed.com. Check him out, and we'll bring him on the show again, maybe when he has better reception. Again, it's all about the U. Go Canes tomorrow, big game, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you then.